Hello and welcome back to the Chatter Cave podcast, where, we talk random shit.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, just reviewing movies. Yeah, because I'm the one that have to carry these shows.
Well, tough.
Because everyone else turns up and is like, yes.
Yes, I totally paid attention to the film. Yes.
Not just that, I definitely want to be here.
I'm not being forced.
Anyway, I'm your host, the Dragon King, Thomas Hughes. I'm joined by the lovely Hayden, aka Licklet. Because today we're carrying on with our Australian adventure.
Right.
By taking a look at the other duology by the same director.
What everyone thinks is the only other animal that exists in Australia. Shark.
Yes, because obviously the last 2 weeks we've been covering the Blackwater duology. Obviously the 2007 original movie and then the 2020 sequel, which obviously was Abyss. And it was meh to... but today we're taking a look at, again, another old one, which then gets a sequel later on down the line, which we'll cover next week, which is, of course, The Reef, which is this beautiful DVD here, but we did not watch it on there because it's on Shudder at the moment, and I couldn't be asked to come up and get this DVD. So I signed up to a free trial just to watch it, because I'm lazy.
Yeah, I'm class as the lazy one.
With the tagline, pray you drown first. Because, at least if you drown, you're not going to go, as a shark gets you.
No, you're just slowly suffocating in an even more painful way.
And according to this, it's the scariest shark thriller since Jaws. But that's because it's the most realistic sort of shark thriller probably since Jaws.
Yeah.
And not one of these ones where it's a genetic experiment or a giant prehistoric shark or
revenge.
It's just like whatnot.
Yeah, it's normal shark. But it's unlike Jaws, where a lot of the character story drove it.
And so that one's more of a character-driven one.
Yes.
This, just like Blackwater, is more of just like they're more realistic, but they're not going to actually drive the story. I mean, they're part of the story because the whole plot of this movie, obviously, again, just like with Blackwater, if I put this down out the way, obviously it's a group of people. In this case, there is actually 5 rather than just 4. There's one more person this time.
Oh.
That's 2010 for you, obviously. It's like a couple of years extra, so they got an extra person.
Yeah, it does look more higher quality, the visuals.
Than Blackwater.
Definitely.
But obviously it doesn't look anything near the visuals as Abyss.
Yes.
Like, it's like the middle child, essentially. I mean, it technically is the middle child because it technically did come out in between both movies. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, the story here is obviously 5 people. Obviously, one's the boat guy. As usual, you have to have a boat guy. Obviously, unlike the Blackwater film, they know this boat guy, so
yeah, he's like friends, and one of them had some relationship with him.
Yeah, and basically they go out for a few days, having some fun on this yacht. Obviously, going to the islands, looking at the beautiful coral reef because Australia, beautiful for coral reef. But obviously, then on the way back, they end up striking something, which they obviously believe might have been the reef. Like it obviously scrapped the bottom of the boat.
Shown to be coral.
Yeah, obviously tipped the boat over, and they're stranded now in the middle of the water with no land in sight.
Lovely.
And unlike obviously Blackwater, there's no trees to hide in. It's literally open water, which is funny because there's an actual film that's a very similar idea to this called Open Water. That's like early 2000 film. Yeah. About like a couple that get stranded in the water. They get left behind by the tour group, if I remember correctly. Never watched it, but I understand the concept. And it's basically a similar idea to this.
Of course.
They're stuck in but in like this, where there's only one, I think there's like multiple. So they're stuck in shark-infested water. Whereas this is like, the sharks out there, but we don't know where they are. Never watched it, so I don't know too much about that. But obviously, they're then stranded, and they're like, okay, we need to get out of here. The guy takes the lead, who, obviously, unlike, say, the Blackwater film, this guy's actually kind of like a survivalist sort of thing. Like, he actually kind of knows what he's doing. Like, he's like, okay, I'm going to get in the water, going to get some supplies from underneath, get some more, like, obviously, what the fucking suit's called?
The diving suit.
Yeah, they've got an actual name, haven't they?
Yeah, but I don't know it.
A diving suit. We'll say diving suit. There's an actual name for them. Obviously, that's like it's meant to keep you like
speedos.
It's meant to keep you like warm and that, isn't it? And obviously protect you the water. Yeah, I just can't think of what they're fucking called. If you know what it is, put it in the comments below if you're on YouTube. or if you listen to us on Spotify, jump on YouTube and put them in the comments below. And obviously he's even got like the water rafts, like the foam things you get at fucking like at swimming pools, and he like cuts it in two so they got more pour. So he's unlike the ones before, he's like kind of one that actually knows what he's doing. Which is kind of what you do sort of need. You need someone to be the one that pushes them. Whereas with Blackwater, it's just they're just stuck there waiting as for just something to happen. Whereas this
Blackwater, they're stuck. They can't really go anywhere. This one, they're stranded, but they have somewhere they can go. It's just they don't know if it's safe or not.
Exactly. So obviously he's on that pimps them all out.
Yeah.
And obviously it sets everyone off on this adventure. Apart from obviously the boat guy, because the boat guy stays behind.
Yeah.
And to this day, he's still missing. And basically, along the way, we get actually cut back to the boat guy, and obviously the hint that there's a shark in the water. Because obviously, there's always the hint. Obviously, I mean, if you go into this movie not realizing it's a shark movie, you're not really the brightest of person. But obviously, obviously, it cuts back to him, and obviously he sees a shark on the top of the water.
Yeah.
But the question is it the same one that's going after them?
Because
that could be a different one, and if his yacht sunk, because they said they never found the yacht. That could have sunk, and he could have been devoured by that one. But more likely just drowned. And obviously, with them, the one guy's always constantly underwater with some goggles looking out, so he's always on the alert just in case there's a shark. And then when the shark turns up, it's not essentially a fight for survival. It's more of the case of we just need to keep going. We can't go back. Someone burning down a house again. It's the idea of we can't go back, so we need to just keep going forward. And obviously, bit by bit, the shark's taking them one by one until again we get a very, depressing ending. That's the thing I do love with these obviously shows. Obviously, we can sort of get into a bit more of these talking about these endings because obviously we can spoil the shit out of them. So that's what I like about us just being able to spoil shit. Because obviously in the end, obviously it's just one person that gets out. Again, it's the sort of the lead female character. And obviously the depressing angle here, obviously it's more the fact that she can't
get his dick again.
So if you go back to Blackwater, obviously the ending was Lee thinks, obviously because she saw the croc, she go back get her sister, like get out there on the boat. Obviously she gets back, sister's dead, sad. Yes. Whereas this is the case of, obviously that is the unknown. It's unknown that she's dead at that time. Whereas this is the case of she's literally got him by the hand. She's trying to use all the strength she's got. Obviously at this point she probably wouldn't have much strength for the fact she's been swimming for hours and hours. And obviously she's trying to pull him up onto this rock with her. And then obviously she has to basically watch as the shark just pulls him out of her hands. Yeah. And just to watch as basically he's dead. And she's stuck on this big bit of like random rocky land, yelling at the air because she's the last one standing. And obviously that's the sort of depressing thing, is the fact that she could have saved him if she had the strength to do it. Yeah. But because of the more like swimming for hours, the fact that, I mean, it's a wet surface, she probably can't get a proper grip herself. I mean, she struggled to get up herself, that's why you had to push her up. Obviously, those factors obviously cause it so she can't actually get him up on the rock. And obviously, as I say, it's that depressing angle then of he's there. He's so fucking close to the end. Like, I do love it when movies do that, when like it's someone that's so close, like they're going to do this, and it's just like, bang. Nope, they ain't fucking doing it. He's like, oh, okay. Whoops. But obviously, one thing I do want to talk about this film, obviously, is I'm literally keeping my the notion of if I like it or not out of this until the end, rather than me just like constantly saying it. Obviously, I want to talk about the fact that just like Blackwater, this is actually based on true events, or at least inspired by. And I'm just going to get my IMDb up because IMDb actually has the
inspired by the film Jaws.
It actually has the events on here. So basically, this is the true story. So the movie is based on a true story of Ray Boundy, or however you pronounce that. In 1983, the fishing boat where he was traveling, where he was traveling in, doesn't make any sense. What he was traveling on makes sense. Along with his friends Dennis Murphy, his nickname was Smurf apparently, 24, and his girlfriend Ann Horton, who was 21. He's trying. Fishing boat he was traveling in. Oh, wait. Is she the cook? I don't understand what this is really worded weird. This is worded really badly, so I can't. I'm trying to work out if she's the cook or if this guy's the cook. One of them was the boat's cook. Let's just put it that way. One was the boat's cook. Not too sure which one it means. So anyway, basically it capsized and it sent the trio into shark-infested water near Townsville, Australia. They had surfboards to stay afloat and swim to Lodestone Reef, where they hoped to be rescued. Before reaching their destination, they realised they were being hunted by a 15-foot-long tiger shark. So this swaps it up because obviously this is a great white, not a tiger shark. The shark attacked Murphy first, taking his leg. In an act of sheer courage and gut-wrenching valour, he swam while bleeding profoundly from his wounds to lure the shark away. So basically, he swam as far away as he could so the shark would go after him. He succeeded, and the shark went after him and killed him. 2 hours later, the shark came back and took Linda, who died while holding him bound his hand before being dragged underwater. Bandy was able to finally reach shore, but not before being stalked and attacked by the shark. Although he was lucky to be that rescuers were able to save him just in time before becoming victim number 3 in this tragedy. Basically, only one person got away just like this. But obviously, as I said, there's some differences in this. Obviously, the fact that it was a tiger shark in the story, whereas obviously in reality, whereas in the story it was a great white, because obviously great whites are more recognisable.
It's what seem more formidable. I guess it's a good reference of tiger sharks because turtle. Mostly tiger sharks are known for eating turtles and stuff.
Is that your shark fact today?
Yes. Also, car stuff.
I mean,
random shit.
I mean, we both saw Jaws. They eat
a
lot of stuff.
They'll eat anything.
A what?
Turtles is what they're known for.
A what? Oh, it's a weird delivery of a line, but oh well. But yeah, obviously, there's a few things tweaked to make it so it's an actual film. I was adding more people to it.
More entertaining, isn't it?
I wouldn't say entertaining because it's just like Blackwater.
Yeah.
The first one, it's designed to be more of a tense thriller rather than
adds more stuff into it than just tiger shark. One guy gets bit, swims away, dies, and then 2 hours later
it comes back, takes another one.
Yeah.
And then so long after it comes back, and almost gets it. Yeah. It's the case of. It's what doesn't want to be just a generic shark film where the sharks just attacking people over and over again. It wants to be again like Blackwater with the crocodile. It wants to be more of a tense thriller. So it keeps obviously it's got a low body count. In this case, it's literally 3 people. It obviously keeps the shark to like the half hour mark. It keeps it away until then. There's not much blood. There is, but it's not a massive amount. And it's just not like it's not the same vein as something like Jaws or Bait or any other of these shark movies. It wants just to be a tense thriller that its premise is a sharks swimming around them and slowly one by one picking them off. Again, just like Blackwater, where it wants to be a tense thriller where crocodiles one by one trying to pick these people off because they're in its territory.
Instead of a multiple-headed shark trying to get Danny Trejo.
That was still funny though. Machete's trying to fight up a 3-headed shark. But yeah, it doesn't want to be one of those ones. It wants to stand out for being
a
more realistic take on it. And as I say, similar to the film Open Water, it wants to be more realistic and less. Shark! Oh, it's a ghost.
Yes.
But we like that film. It was quite stupid.
Yes, but that's because of how
dumb.
Ridiculous it was.
It doesn't want to be a dumb shark movie. It doesn't want to be a generic shark movie. It wants to be, as I say, a tense thriller that just so happens to have a shark as its main antagonist.
It's more of them being stranded in the water and there happens to be a shark. Then this shark's a killer and it's killing all these people.
Yeah. The exact same.
It's not like they've got like loads of news points of this specific shark's killing so many people.
Exact same with the first Blackwater. It's the case of they went into its territory. It gave them a bump, but obviously, because it's a small boat, it was enough bump to capsize them. And obviously, then it's the case of, well, it's in its territory, it's going to go after them.
It's hungry as well.
Exactly. Whereas this, obviously, it's the case of they just happen to be in the water and it's seeing them as seals.
Yeah.
Because of the outfit, which is a reference early on in the movie of you put that on. Wetsuit?
Yeah.
Wetsuit. And I'll get there fucking eventually. You put the wetsuit on, you're going to look like a seal. which obviously a hint at sharks. I mean, there is reference early on to sharks because of the teeth. The guy's like got loads of like shark teeth.
Different types of sharks, yeah. That's a mako, that's a tiger.
He's got basic stuff that he's basically has died, and obviously he's caught them and whatnot. So his references early on to the fact that it is sharks. A bit like with Blackwater, there's references to the crocodiles for the crocodile farm.
Yes.
So there's a little hint before, like, trying to build these characters a little bit, obviously showing them having a bit of a good time before, wow, you got your antagonist coming to try and get them.
Yes.
Which in this case is a shark. But again, just like Blackwater, there's going to be a lot of references because it's made by the same guy, so there's going to be a lot of references.
Same kind of film.
Same kind of film, and it uses real footage of sharks, just like that one used real footage of crocodiles, and it blends it into the actual movie. This does it in the case of a lot of the shots are obviously when he's underwater with the goggles on, and he's seeing obviously the shark swimming around, and there's a couple of times you get the shark coming out the water, and obviously that again, it's just obviously them blended in with it, and it works fine. It's not bad digital effects when they do that. Obviously, the merging of it. So they did for 2010 again. It's another good visual type one, and I do love a lot of the underwater shots. It is very beautiful, and there's seeing the shark swimming around. It's like very, really good. And obviously, there's a lot of really cool shots. A lot of the time, a lot of the shots are like just above the water edge.
Yes,
which is pretty cool because obviously that's kind of like how we're seeing it kind of from their point of view. Like they literally seeing it from just above the waters, like the top of the water, and I do like that. There's a lot of really cool like cinema. Like, it look obviously you can tell the age of it, but I still think they do look pretty decent, like cinematic sort of shots. Like it's a basic shot, but it works really well for this film.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Obviously, the sharks in the film are obviously real. Yeah, they're filmed in environs of Port Lincoln on the Eyre Peninsula of South Australia, just off the state's Spencer Gulf at Neptune's Island. So basically, they went to like an area, filmed a bunch of sharks, and whacked them in the movie. Shot in 5 weeks. This film was. Which makes sense. I mean, there's not that much left to shoot, really.
True.
A lot of it is just them in the water.
Water, boat.
Obviously, I'm guessing you can probably count so many weeks, maybe just filming like a shark in different situations. So that's obviously not too bad. Apparently, when the cast stepped on a stonefish on the third day of shooting. Isn't a stonefish like one of those poisonous ones?
Probably.
Like I don't know if it's like technically a killer. It's just a case of when you get stabbed.
It's a poisonous one where like
it's really painful, like a bullet ant. Stonefishes, venomous and dangerous, and fatal to humans. Yeah, because they blend in with the stones really well. So you can die from them, and most obviously as long as you basically get fucking. I'm guessing the fucking antidote.
Yeah.
A bit like with like rattlesnakes and obviously venomous snakes. As long as you get the antidote before you fucking it gets too much, you'll be fine.
They probably knew about them. It was like be careful, just in case.
I'm saying they're more likely these sort of things more likely have stuff like that just in case because you never actually know, do you?
No.
So obviously, especially if you're filming in the wild, which is it's pretty cool. They filmed it in obviously. Like a bit of an actual wild place because a lot of these things would literally probably just get like a massive tank of water and stick you in. I mean, look at
the swimming pool.
Look at Jaws Revenge, the fourth Jaws film. Like a lot of that is literally like the backlot of like Universal. Like it's a massive pool, so you can literally see the water hitting the boards at the back, so you can clearly tell it's not an open water. Whereas you look at some like the original Jaws, it was filmed on actual open water. It was like wasn't that like one of the first films that actually did that?
Probably.
So obviously, the first film to actually film on the ocean. So I do like films when they actually take that time to actually do something like that. Because they say they could literally have gone to a backlot, filmed it there. But I like the fact they actually did it in natural environment. Like Blackwater, the first one they did it in natural environment.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the second one was more like a soundstage. I don't think they actually filmed it in an actual fucking cave. I don't think that one. Apparently, one of the cast read a lot of survival stories to prepare for a role. What we got? Yes, I know that. The name of the yacht the group of friends go sailing on that capsized is called Boomerang.
Of course.
It didn't come back though. It didn't come back. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, again, this is the one. It's not like a major cast. Like it's not only
Yeah.
people you know. I mean, I was googling some of the cast. Obviously, the guy looks like a prisoner. You said it was an episode of Titans, apparently.
Of course.
The other guy in it, I've not really seen. I don't even recognise half this shit that's on here. I know the guy that stayed in the boat guy, Warren. He was in Home and Away for like 9 episodes.
Of course.
Classic Australian was in Home and Away for 9 episodes. He was also like a director on some stuff. She was also in Home and Away.
Of course.
Wait, wasn't like 2 people in the first one, like from Blackwater, sorry, in Home and Away, the first Blackwater?
Yeah.
So it's the exact same. That there's 2 people from Home and Away in this. But imagine this one's in there. Oh no, this one's Home and Away as well. Both women were in Home and Away at some point. Imagine if she was in Neighbours. The onset fighting. Did you just in that shit Nicolas Cage film, Knowing? Yeah, no, this guy's like a director as well. The boat guy, Warren. Because according to this, he directed 2 episodes of Wolf Creek, which is ironic. So I was referencing Wolf Creek as a joke when we was watching the film.
Because it's Australian.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those that, again, not a lot happens.
Yeah. It takes a while to kick in.
It does take like Blackwater takes a while to kick in.
Yes.
But when it kicks in, the tenseness does like get you.
This one does take a lot more longer to kick in, and it's like while you're waiting for it, it can be a bit. When it kicks in,
I think it's the case of with this. It's obviously with Blackwater, the crocodiles what caused them to capsize. Whereas this is just they've hit something, and then it's just a case of let's just keep swimming, just keep swimming. So that kind of is why it does drag it a while. And obviously, the big difference between those two is the fact that this is open water. Like the shark could be anywhere in this water.
Whereas the croc, they have time to rest in the trees and stuff.
They're literally, it's in that territory. It's like, it's not going to go away. Which is obviously the same with the shark. When it finally comes in, it's not going away. It's just going to keep coming and coming, slowly picking you off one by one. They have
to escape. But for the croc one, you've got to kill the croc, or else you're not going to escape.
Exactly.
All their methods of escaping have completely.
Whereas this is literally, there's no way you can kill the shark.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen like a little tiny knife at one point, that's it. You don't really see it after this.
There's no gun established.
They're literally in the water. They're fucked. They literally just need to get to land as quick as they can. It does take a little bit longer to kick in, but when it does kick in, it does get really tense, and it is well done in that way. It does make you go, fuck me, this. Literally, if you feel like they're in this shark infested water, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like some of the shots when it's like by them and swimming by them, like you're literally like, wait, did they film this with actual sharks in the area? Again, we like Blackwater. When you see the croc like rising behind, you're like, wait, did they actually film this in the same sort of region as these sharks? It's like, whoa. But I do agree, it does take that little bit longer than Blackwater to get in.
Blackwater, it's sort of, as soon as the boat capsizes, it's a lot more quicker to see the croc than with the shark one. It takes a lot more time. There's hints at it, like there's a lot of like
going in the water, like constant looking and whatnot.
Yeah, they're panicking about it.
But it's not till Warren sees it in the water, and then it's like, okay, so it's going to come. But even then, it doesn't come straight away. It comes like you still got another like 5-10 minutes.
Because it's like it's quite far away.
It's done another 5-10 minutes before they're like, what was that?
And the idea
it's nothing. It's fine. You've seen things. Now what was that? I saw it over there. Let's all look. Oh no, whatever it was, it's gone. No, I saw it that time. Hold on, I'll keep going in the water for you. There's nothing there. I saw it that time. Like it's just like that over and over again before you see the thing. You're like, oh.
He's very like he said while watching it. If they'd have gone faster straight away,
there's a good chance it would have been all right.
Yeah,
because the shark,
because they were being paranoid.
It depends on if that is the actual shark that goes after him, the one that Warren sees.
True.
As we said, we don't actually know if that's the one Warren sees because that's just like. That could just be like another shark in there. That could just be a hint at the sharks in the area fully, rather than that's the same shark that's going after them. So I feel like it'd be a bit weird that the one that's like really far back, so it's going, I want to go this way, and people.
Unless like one of them got cut or something.
I don't think so.
More. No,
I think it might be just a different shark. I think that might just be a hint. So it might be the case of they did do the right thing of going slow. Obviously, that's just a different shark in the area. That's his point of going, well, they're dead. And if I sink, I'm dead.
I like how basically it was a point you made anyways during the film, and you just corrected yourself.
Yeah, no. I just thought I literally had the time to think it through while I'm talking about it and go, okay, maybe there's this reason for that, and that's not this, and that's that.
You should probably do that a lot more.
Thank you very much. Tart. But yeah, it's a different kind of shark movie that's not going to be for everyone's taste.
Yeah.
But if you're into sort of like these survival type ones where it's like it feels more real than, as say, something like Jaws or Deep Blue Sea or whatnot, then it's definitely one of those ones that's an interesting watch. And again, just like fucking Blackwater, it got a sequel like over 10 years later.
I'm guessing from your reaction,
it was mediocre again. Right. But there was some stuff I liked a bit more than Blackwater about it, but it's still nowhere near this. Like, it just tries to copy. I mean, it's the thing with Blackwater and Blackwater Abyss. They can do a bit more because you can put the crocodile in different situations, like a fucking caving system. Whereas the Reef, it's kind of difficult because the shark needs to be in water.
Unless, like, they're in some kind of nature reserve and
it's kind of like they have to have it in water. So it's just the case of
they've written themselves into their own corner.
The only thing you can do with shark movies is literally just. But the only exceptions where you can do it in like a different scenario was Deep Blue Sea, when it was like in the underwater. It got into the actual fucking base underwater and swimming around and whatnot. Just trying to think of any
3D was the
it was a mixture of the ocean and the sea life aquarium. The Sea World, was it something like that? I'm trying to think of like another fucking shark one with an example of it's not just the fucking ocean. There's that many fucking shark movies out there. I just can't think of like
Sharknadoes. It's in a tornado.
Exactly. Those are the only sort of ones you can actually sort of go shark. It can come out of any fucking piece of water.
Go shark, yeah.
Like there's only so many places you can
put. Versus the werewolf or
werewolf. It can literally just come on land. I mean, it fought Pterocuda at one point, which is like a pterodactyl barracuda. That was the one before werewolf.
Oh.
But I showed you werewolf because it's a whale and it's a wolf.
Yes, well, it's not whale, it's an orca.
True, but
why they call it werewolf?
Because calling it orca wolf would be a weird sounding name. Yes. Werewolf was sort of. It sounds like werewolf.
If it gets for the pun, but if you do an orca, dolphin technically.
But yeah, there's only so much. As you back yourself into the corner of shark films, there's only some. Obviously, a bait was another example of a different one. Obviously, it was a supermarket. Obviously, there's only so much you can do.
You want realistic?
Yeah, you kind of fucking yourself. Limited. Whereas if you're going for a more
cool.
Oh, not necessarily cuckoo, like a bit more over the top, slightly, not fully over the top, but slightly over the top, as say like a supermarket or something.
Bull sharks.
Then you obviously you can put them in other situations, but as you say with an actual realistic type movie, you're kind of fucked. It's just the ocean, and all you can really do is either have the boat just crash and they're swimming, or I think the second one does what Blackwater did. The first one, it knocks one of them out, and obviously it's the case of they're trying to survive. It's that kind of situation, like it knocks over one of them. It causes one to capsize because it's curious. Because I think the second one they're on like kayaks, like is it kayaks or canoes? The ones that are solos. No, the ones that are, you know what I'm on about. The ones that are solo sitted. Like you can't fit two people. It's sort of one person.
Kayak. I think.
Kayak.
I think canoe you can do more people.
If it is kayak, obviously that's the situation with that. It's literally like a bunch of people go kayaking. Obviously. And one of them, obviously, the shark obviously gets curious and takes the kayak out. So obviously, they're a bit different. It's not like a massive boat and they're just stuck in the water. They actually have transportation in the water, but it's still not enough to really keep them safe from this shark. Obviously, the only difference is with obviously this one where it's literally like it sees like it's seen. He knows where they are, so it's just gonna keep following them. Whereas this, it's like it even still goes after them when they're like in other boats. Like it's still going after them. Like it's a bit more of a. It's like target. It's kind of like it feels like it targeted them, but it's been a while since I watched it because I watched it last year.
Less like it's hunting its own territory, but more like I want to fuck those people up.
I mean, if I'm not correct, it goes after kids in it. It's just like it's like one of the rare ones where it actually like almost eats a kid.
Jeez.
Like I remember being like, "That's cool. That's pretty. Like not a lot of things will do that. Like kids and dogs are usually the things that a lot of things won't touch." But I was like, respect for attempting like to go. Whoa, that's shocking. But as I say, I watched it last year. I can't remember too much about it. I remember getting like a mediocre vibe from it, but we'll see when I actually rewatch it if I change my mind. I mean, as with Blackwater Abyss, I kind of changed my mind a little bit, not fully. Like I was like, I upped it like by 0.2 or something stupid like that. Like I was like, it's a little bit better than I thought, but it's still a bland, mediocre movie.
Still shit.
Well, you put it shit, I put it as mediocre. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what I feel like with that. I know I do have a good gag when we watch it because I've got 2 DVDs that the posters are basically the same fucking poster. Like 2 movies that came out in like this short space of time, and both basically have the same concept for a poster. And I'm gonna literally I'll show you next week when we cover that because it's technically the poster for the next movie. So I don't see the point in getting into it until that. But anyway, yeah. So rate this. As you say, it does take a bit longer to get into than Blackwater does. Obviously, and it does offer you a bit more characters throughout rather than just you're stuck with 3. Because I'm not going to count their boat guy in Blackwater because their boat guy dies straight away. So you're stuck with 3.
Their boat guy was just there to basically get him there and give him a gun. That was it.
But I think I prefer Blackwater. The first one because there's a lot of really coolness in that. I mean, the bit obviously when they're stuck in the tree and obviously there's one person stuck on top of the boat. It's like, how the fuck's she getting out of this? But I do like with this, as I said, the open waterness. Like, there could be land there, there might not be fucking land there. You don't fucking know. You're just swimming and hoping. Like it's like tense in that way.
Whereas like at least in Blackwater, if they're going through the trees, at least they're still in the trees.
They're still safe from danger.
Yes.
Unless a snake comes down or a spider or something, because it is Australia.
True. Eventually,
I mean, there is the
koala.
There is the quote in this, isn't there? That you're more likely to be killed by a bee sting than a shark. And I said, imagine being in one of these movies where you somehow don't get killed by a shark, but you get stung by a bee and die. But that'd be the case in that. Like, I'm surviving this crocodile. I'm going through the trick, and I got bit by a black widow. Bye.
Basically, yeah.
But like that, obviously. They said they're a bit more safer, but it is still a tenseness of they're safe, but where the fuck are they going to go? Whereas this is the case of they're kind of in danger all the time, and it's just like you are kind of edgy, like
one bad choice could lead to that. They went that way, and there's no land. They could swim for like hours, like ages and ages and ages, and then die of exhaustion and
there's a lot of other factors that could take them out.
Yeah.
But so I see. I like this as well. The fact that they don't kill the shark. That is an interesting change. But I did like the ending of Blackwater more. That and the fact that she went back with that hope of I've got this, and she finds her dead in the tree. Like that was pretty sad. Whereas it's sad because obviously she couldn't save him. Yeah. But it's not as sad as like a sister going back and finding this. That what everything she's just doing was for nothing.
And right at the end as well, he doesn't really show you like. He just explains what happens. It's just like a text of
this one explains that she
got rescued
the day after.
Or something like that.
Like a boat found her and picked her up. Whereas obviously the yacht was never found. So Warren's basically basically MIA at the moment, so he's possibly dead. Whereas the last one, Blackwater, is literally they just drive away on the boat, and he's just like anything could happen between here and there.
Up to you, maybe it ran out of petrol and another one attacked. Or she got there safely, but no one believes her.
There's many factors of what could have been. But obviously, I feel like the ambiguous ending would have been good here. It's just like it just ends with screaming. Like, at the ending with a scream as it zooms out as she's screaming.
And that little island.
And it just ends there. And obviously, then it's the case of you thinking, she got rescued. Did she die of dehydration? Starvation. There's many factors that could have killed her here. Is Warren alive? Is he not? There's many sort of factors.
Did you try to go back in the water and get attacked again?
There's many things you could have done with that, and obviously that does narrow it down, just drag it down a bit because you know sort of what's actually happened.
Because it just explains it really.
Whereas, as I say, Blackwater, it's up to you to decide what's going on. And it's not really. I do like as well. It's not a stupid ending like Abyss, where it's just like the crocodile still comes out. And it's like, yeah, we're still gonna go after you. You just crashed in my water again. I'm gonna get you again. Like, and we're just gonna like copy and paste the same fucking.
Yeah, boom.
I'm pretty certain the next movie does end with like them killing it, but obviously that changes things. Whereas Blackwater was just like, I shot you at the end of the first one, I shot you at the end of the second one. Like, it copies and pastes the ending, but changes the setting, and don't want that. Whereas if I remember correctly, the ending is a bit different to the next one than this. But I still did enjoy this, and if I was to give it a score, I'd say I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think that's reasonable. I don't think I still prefer Blackwater, and I think it is at 0.5. I feel like there's a few factors, obviously, that they could have done would have upped it probably to equal Blackwater. Obviously, it's not necessarily the drawing it out. So say it's kind of the ending is a bit. You kind of want it to be left open to your decision, not them.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's kind of their way of like being like. Maybe people didn't understand if she got out or not. The last in Blackwater, maybe needs to try and do that. But there's a couple of things here that could have salvaged and upped it to maybe the same as Blackwater.
Okay. So, I'd say I give it a 7.
Exactly 7.
Yes.
I was debating internally between 7 and 7.5.
7, I'd say. Like, some of the things, like, it's got some good parts, but also some parts like how it takes a bit longer to get to the point. There are some weird decisions, like she's like, I'm gonna stay on the boat, and then like 5 seconds later, wait guys, I'm gonna come with you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what there was no extra. There's no. I mean, I would understand if there was a bit of dialogue then between them two on the boat.
Yeah, or
like,
maybe like he's like, you need to go with him or something. Like, I'll stay here, but you
need to be with him.
You've got a better chance of surviving.
At least
him. He's more.
At least either way, if one of us dies, at least this way you're going to die with your love, rather than just with me on here.
And he probably knows more.
Yeah, it's just literally like the weirdness of, she's like, I'm not going.
I'll change your mind.
And then right now it's like, I'm coming, guys, hold on, hold your horses, I'm coming. Like, there is some like weird things that do drag it back a bit. But I'd just give it the extra like 0.5 just for being realistic again. The realism definitely ups it. It's not this generic movie. It definitely feels like this could actually happen. This, well, I mean, it has happened. It's based on true events. It did happen, but it definitely feels like it could happen.
Yeah, like it's not like a monster film. It's a disaster film, really.
Bingo. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's 7 and 7.5 gives The Reef. Something I didn't point out earlier. There is 2 movies. Again, like Blackwater, there is another movie called The Reef. There's a kids' animated movie called The Reef. There's 2 of them as well. We're going to give this 2010 shark thriller, The Reef, the Chatter Cave overall rating of 7.3 out of 10. It's middle, so it'd be 7.25. Rounded up to 7.3. You can't really say 7.25. It's a bit of a weird rating. So yeah, 7.3. Okay, MVP. I mean, the only one that really stands out is the main guy because he actually knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, true.
Like, it's not just like a bunch of people that's scared. Like, he's the actual one. He's like, okay, we need to calm down here. We need to take this one step at a time, one little paddle at a time. Like, he's the one actually trying to help them all get out. Like, he's the only one that actually has some sort of personality. The personality being a survivalist.
Yes, and of course, if you judge from the joke that the romantic interest does, he's probably got a big dick then. Because like she obviously gets wrapped up sausage, like a really big thick one, and she's like reminds you of anything. And it's like, okay, she's got a massive dick. It's even more sad that he dies.
Fucking people on the fucking motorbikes. But yeah, so I'd say him. I'd say there's definitely a human MVP this time because it's actually not just like random characters like scared. Like,
it's not just like insert character here. It's more.
Obviously with Blackwater, The first one, obviously, they're all like scared, which is fine.
Yeah, but you have one of them at least have a character
Development
journey.
to that point.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously Abyss, it was the case of two of them kind of knew what they're doing already.
Yeah, two of them knew what they're doing already, but did fuck all anyways.
Yeah, and there was no sort of character development with anyone.
A lot of them would either say the exact same as there was at the start or dead.
Whereas this, yes, there's no real character development for anyone really.
There's no real arcs for
them. But obviously you instantly get someone who actually has a personality and actually does know what the fuck he's doing. Like he's the one like giving them all the.
The only arc is that they have history together and they're not quite sure if they're going to go back together or not.
Yeah. So
that's pretty much it.
I'd say him.
Yeah.
I'd say runner up. We give it to the shark.
Shark.
Because it's a real shark, just like Blackwater when we gave it to the crocodile for being a real croc. Shark gets it for being a real shark. Okay. Favorite moment. I'd say any shot of the shark underwater because, as I say, it's a real shark. Like, what movies do you really see that do that? I know Jaws did it in a mixture of some of the shots of underwater. Like, there's actual real life shots of like a shark attacking a cage and whatnot. There's some real shots in that, but not a lot of movies do actually use real footage of sharks. It's usually some sort of CGI creation or animatronic robot. So it's something different, and I do like the fact that it's actual real life footage of a shark, that they actually took time to go out and film a shark. So any shot of the shark really underwater and like going terrorizing these people, like not even attacking them, it's like terrorizing them because they see them and they're shitting themselves. Any of those sort of shots, I'd say is my favourite. Like not a specific one really, just like any of them. Like any.
I agree, fair, because shark is probably the best parts of it. And also any other shot where it's just underwater, you can see like them swimming.
Like the coral and all underneath.
When they're first exploring the ocean and stuff, it's really beautiful.
So basically, any of the underwater shots, basically.
Yeah, because
that's always going to be the best part of these type of things. Like, especially if you're not going to be like the full on, say like Jaws or something, where there's a character development, or it's not going to be like a Deep Blue Sea or whatnot with like the gore and the shark attack.
It's not really a character story. It's not a gore fest. It's more of just a nature survival.
Yeah. That obviously, if you're not going to basically have any of that, you need to have some really nice, beautiful underwater shots, and this does. By, as I say, showing the reefs at the start, even showing little bits of reefs at the end, and then said the shark shots underwater, the tuna swimming around, the different fish. There's some really
wildlife. And stuff.
That's the thing with Blackwater; they couldn't really do that because it's murky as hell.
It's murky water. They're in a swamp.
So they can't really do underwater visuals. It's more like they can only really do.
They could have like a snake on the tree.
That's what I mean. That's all they can really do. Is they can do so much underwater. I mean, the show obviously you see a dolphin fin at some point in this movie.
There's obviously the headless turtle.
Yeah, you see all this underwater wildlife, and so any of that is just great.
I even see a fucking seagull as well, which hints at there's probably land down there.
Yeah,
maybe that's it. Maybe there's an island down that's where he is. So, you see hints of stuff.
So any sort of literally underwater shot for this movie is just a standout, really. Even though you can obviously tell it's dated by the year, but it still looks for a 2010 movie. The cinematography still looks really good.
It's like watching Blue Planet.
It still looks pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah, like proper nature documentary kind of.
And it doesn't rely on the special effects. There's not really any, apart from obviously the merging of the footage. I know that the sequel used a lot of CGI for the shark. I think it does like some underwater shots. Like this, but a bit like with Blackwater Abyss, but just like that, it utilises a lot for the attacking bits. It utilises a heavy amount of CGI.
I guess it's easier for them to get CGI
and
then do exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Than just recording animals, seeing them do something like
trying to
make that look like an attack.
Yeah, it just doesn't look good though. You'll see when you watch that one. Okay, I think that's it. My question: what's your favourite shark?
Obviously, a question like, what's the next Australian animal do you want to see in a horror film? Koala bear.
We've done next. That be the question for next time.
Oh,
I mean, it makes sense to say what's your favourite shark. I mean, the first one we did was the favourite crocodile. It makes sense to be what's your favourite shark.
Okay then.
So it makes sense.
Yes. What's your favourite shark, and why is it always great white?
I mean, I like a bull shark. I like bull sharks. Bull sharks can swim in freshwater and saltwater.
Yeah. I like tiger sharks.
And bull sharks technically are more dangerous than grey whites.
Says the grey white. Says the grey white in disguise as a human.
Yeah, is that a callback to like Deep Blue Sea podcast, the Deep Blue Sea 2 podcast? When you kept talking about the main characters, like she's clearly a bull shark in disguise.
She's a great white in disguise.
Oh, that
Because
was
the
it.
entire time I'm saying, oh no, bull sharks are more bad. Grey whites are fine. Bull sharks naughty. They're dangerous. Trust grey whites.
See, I think the great white, death by great white are higher than bull sharks, but
Yes.
attacks I think are higher on.
Yeah.
It's attacks are more. The deaths are higher on. But I think the deaths are higher on one, but the attacks are more frequent on one.
Yeah, I'm guessing grey white might be the deaths are higher because if one gets you, it's probably most likely going to kill you. But bull shark, it's more of they're probably more aggressive. They're going to attack more. They will go and go for you by mistake. They will go for you because they want to attack you. But they're probably not as. It's probably harder for them to kill.
They are more vicious. They are fucking more vicious.
Probably they have more.
I literally saw like a documentary about bull sharks and the fact that like, this guy was like had a horse and he was going across the bridge, but the horse went through the water and it attacked the fucking horse. Like it just went for it. Like it was this is a river. That's what I like about them. Like they can be anywhere. You can literally, I mean, you can do that with any film. I mean, Deep Blue Sea 2 took the bull sharks, put it in the open water, and obviously the little baby ones in the fucking underwater place. Whereas the Redwater took it into the Mississippi River and had it stalking people in the river. Like that's the thing with that. You can do a lot more with a bull shark than you can with a great white. But
grey white's used more for they're big, they're foreboding. And
because Jaws, they're iconic.
Yes, Jaws makes them look terrifying. That's like if you think of a shark, that's usually what you think of. You won't think of the more unique one. You might think of a hammerhead if like
because of the hammer.
Because of how unique it looks. But like you won't think of a tiger, you won't think of a mako.
You won't think of a goblin shark.
Unless you know
what they
about
are.
them.
Yeah. You won't think of anything but great white.
Like I don't know about mako sharks because that Mako mermaid TV show.
Technically, they're also in Deep Blue Sea, the first one.
Really?
They're main. That's the sharks of Deep Blue Sea.
The mako.
They used makos in the first one. First one was makos. Second and third are bull sharks.
Ah.
Yeah, the first one was like genetically engineered mako sharks.
In fact, I don't remember.
It was like It was like a fucking 2 years ago. So it has been a while. But yeah. What's your favourite shark? If she's gone for tiger and I've gone for bull, we're going for the animal named ones.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like tiger sharks. They're greedy bastards.
Obviously, you can check out the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Audible, you name it. Fucking most of the platforms it's available to listen to on. Don't think it's on there, but you can try if you want. And obviously next week we'll be covering its sequel, The Reef, Stalked.
If you haven't guessed.
Yeah. Obviously, there's like Blackwater, they shoved a little title at the end. This time, Stalked.
Because they're getting stalked.
By a shark, yes.
It's totally not like just a random, like, fucking nerdy guy in the sky is trying to, like, dress up as a shark just to stalk one of the girls.
I see women. Woohoo! And obviously that's the last one of our Australian quadrilogy before we move on to another theme, and that one will cover us for the rest of March, but I'll explain that next week. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. Obviously you can check out the 2 Reef ones we've done over the last 2 weeks. And then obviously we hope you enjoyed, and we hopefully shall see you next time.
Bye.